What's up, guys? In this next video, we're going to hear from Tyler, who's going to tell us about cable management and how we handle that at Next Level Hi-Fi.
The critical outlet, the most critical outlet, is actually digital to analog.
Josie, she's got it down. Consistent with our philosophy with our best cable.
We're plugging in the mains outlets. We have a little strategy. You know, we get 8 outlets. ANSUS always identifies the critical outlet, the most critical outlet, which is the gray highlighted one. And that's where your preamp should go. If you don't have a preamp, meaning you have an integrated, that's where you plug your integrated into. And that is the most important component of any hi-fi, so we prioritize the ground around that outlet. When a client is plugging in like a noisy TV, perhaps, I try to put it as far away from the mains inlet as possible. When they're plugging in, say, monoblocks or very powerful amplifiers, I try to plug it in as close to the mains as possible. So I'd put a big power amplifier, a mono's here, noisy digital all the way at the end of the line. Again, everything is star grounded, so technically it shouldn't make a difference, but in practice we find like this works even a little bit better. So the most important cable in any system is the feed from the wall to your power distributor. In our case, our client has chosen for this system the high performance, high value X3 from ANSUS. And so we're going to plug that into the inlet. If I can reach that far, there we go. And then I'm going to push against Josie here. So this is the second most important power cord in any system, and it's what connects your preamp, or in this case, your integrated, into your power distributor. And Josie's going to grab that, pull the protective stuff back, and she's going to plug it into that center outlet. The next most important power cord is your source. In this case, our source is actually a digital to analog converter, right? So it's taking all the digital signals, whether it's from the TV, whether it's from our high performance network streamer, whether it's from the client's Blu-ray player or Oppo player, and we're converting to analog. And so this next most important power cord is going to get plugged on the other side. I'll hand it over to Josie. Yeah, good job. Right there. Yep.
These are the ANSUS X3 mains power cables. ANSUS has recently refreshed the line with updated cable housing materials. This is solid stainless steel. And they've slightly tweaked the cable winding geometry for lower electrical inductance. Little known fact about these cables is Michael Borison's dad winds these on a machine near his home. So he does all of the cable winding.
Yeah, the cable winding machine looks pretty old-fashioned because it is, and it's specific to the winding and the helix design that Michael is proprietary in ANSUS cables. So, you know, Michael's father is quite experienced in age, and the winding machine is quite experienced in age, so it's kind of an old artisan process, actually. So, next what we're going to do is, this is a BNC digital cable, and we're going to connect, it is directional, so you go with the signal flow. So this is going to go in to our DAC, which is right here. And we're going to take the signal out. I'll put the protective wrap back on. And we're going to take the signal out of our DAC via the BNC as well. Now, a common question we get asked over and over again is, why do I need a separate DAC if my streamer has a DAC? And the answer is you don't. If your streamer has a DAC to convert the digital signal to analog, you could just take a set of RCAs out of it to your integrated. You could skip this middle component. But in the terms of the AVIC 80 series, which is what you have here, the DAC, the middle component, is actually much higher performing. So a lot of our clients do go with the extra expense of adding the separate DAC. And a lot of times they grow into it, right? They'll start with just the streamer, using the analog outputs into the integrated, so the top box and the bottom box. But as time goes on, or the budget allows, or they love their system but they want more of it, they'll say, okay, well,
Let me try that separate DAC, right? You get a dedicated power supply, more space for an optimized layout, more Tesla coil in the case of ANSUS, built into the AVIC DAC. So this is what we call the 3-box system, streamer to DAC to integrate. We're gonna connect the ANSUS speaks between the integrate amplifier and the speakers. And you'll notice something is that almost all of our installs, we use exclusively bananas. These are 4mm bananas. A lot of folks ask us, hey, why don't you use spades? Why don't you use a different type of connection? And the designer and the engineer actually prefers the 360-degree connection point of a banana and the mechanical properties of a banana connected to his equipment. And so while you'll see convenience of a 5-way binding post, which means it'll accept a spade or it'll accept a bare wire, you'll see us time and time again use bananas. And that's straight from Audio Group Denmark's engineer. That is the preferred connection.